Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, Athletic Apparel Consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations. Or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org.
Full Court Press is on your team. Full Court Press is more than just a copy shop. Some of their print services include color copies, black and white copies, posters, bindings, calendars, cards, business cards, and every door direct mail. They're located at 855 Main Street in Westbrook. Call them today at 207-464-0002 or request an estimate, place an order, and much more on their website at fullcourtpress.biz. That's fullcourtpress.biz. When you need a copy shop to bring the heat, it's time to hire Full Court Press.
Showed us the invoice of the car, took $1,000 off, showed us all the rebates. Everything was full disclosure. No other dealer would do that for us. I have had at least 5 that said that, almost verbatim.
Why don't you say that? There's nothing to hide in the commercials. I mean, it's all out there.
What's the website, Amber?
YankeeFord.com.
Marty?
YankeeFord.com.
Jay?
YankeeFord.com.
Burke?
YankeeFord.com.
I'm a little confused here. I'm not sure what the website is. I'm not getting it.
You know,
YankeeFord.com. Yeah, sure. That might be it.
Plus oil changes for as long as you own your car, Maine State inspections for as long as you own the car.
I think if you go to the website, the point is that we're going to have the lowest price in the market.
Yeah.
And we're going to pay you more for your used car. And when you come in here, we're going to pull the invoice and show you the cost. We're going to show you the rebates. We're going to be completely full disclosure.
Yeah.
Go ask the competitors to do that. They won't do it. Does that tell you anything?
Yeah, there's no fine print at Yankee Ford. What was that website again?
YankeeFord.com.
Right.
Look, I get it. We all got snowed in last week. You're just now getting shoveled out. And when somebody mentions something to you about summer camps, your only thought is, can I go to it right now so that I don't have to deal with the snow anymore? Totally get that. However, this February vacation week, if you're home with your kids, there is one thing that you're going to remember. If you don't have something for your kids to do, you're going to be in for a long summer. Registration is now open for University of Southern Maine's summer camps. They've got basketball, they've got soccer, they've got ice hockey, and they have a ton more. I haven't even scratched the surface on this. Find the registration links now. Go to usm.maine.edu. That's usm.maine.edu and search summer camps. Or find the links right now at mbr.org. And maybe get them in shape for some of these summer camps by letting them shovel off the roof or something like that. Or the deck. Or the car. Or maybe the big wheel. Either way. University of Southern Maine summer camps, where kids should spend the summer.
It's the most dangerous driving distraction. It's not an age-specific issue. It's not driver-specific. It makes car accidents up to 23 times more likely to occur. When it comes to texting while driving, you're only good at it until the one time you aren't.
I'm Chris Condon from United Insurance. Pick up your free bumper sticker at any United Insurance location. Please don't text and drive.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal. We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who will get the IRS off your back.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
Call Tax Solutions now. Time is running out. Call 800-399-4661. 800-399-4661.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Norway Savings Bank Arena for Game 2 of tonight's Black and Blue doubleheader between the visiting Lewiston Blue Devils and your own St. John's Saints. This is a Norway Business Association photographs for secondary school activities. St. John's emphasizes that sportsmanship, ethical conduct, and fair play is expected of all participants and spectators. Please refrain from making disparaging remarks to opponents,
Let me know when we're on.
coaches, or spectators. We encourage all spectators to cheer on as opponents.
We're here from the Norway Savings Bank Arena, where the Lewiston Blue Devils will be visiting the St. Dom's Saints. This is Dave Wing. Cale Blam is on his way. A little mix-up with us, and we're excited about tonight's game. The starting goaltender for Lewiston is number 31, Jacob Smith. Number 3, Ryan Bossy, the captain, will be at one defenseman spot. Number 6, Willie Blanchette, also on defense. Number 8, Dustin LaRochelle. Number 55, Sam Frechette. And number 26, Ben St. Laurent for the St. Dom's Saints.
Now the starting lineup, here's St. John's Saints. On the defense, a sophomore, number 19, Michael Silly.
Number 19, Michael Silly on defense.
A sophomore, number 5, Jack Willett.
Number 5, Jake Willett on defense. At center, Jacob Lewis at center. Will Blanchard at one of the forwards.
A senior, the captain, number 6,
Matt Pelletier at one of the other forwards.
number 31,
Gaston Fuchsa in goal for the Saints. We're going to take this quick break while they play the national anthem, and we'll be right back after these messages.
We ask that you now please rise and recognize.
Everything is perfect. You've got the house, the car, the life you've always dreamed of. Even on the most picture-perfect day, accidents can happen. Life is unpredictable, and your coverage really does matter. At United Insurance, we know how to protect you and the things you love from all of life's surprises.
I'm Chris Condon of United Insurance. We understand the coverage Mainers need. Visit us at CoverageMatters.net.
Yankee Ford in South Portland wants to wish all customers a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season, and to thank you for an unbelievable 2017. How does Yankee Ford in South Portland keep delivering new Ford vehicles at the lowest prices with the highest trade-in values? By letting you keep all the rebates and cutting out layers of management. You deal directly with the owner. Yankee Ford has sold more new Fords than any other dealer in Maine for one reason: full disclosure. Ask the competition to show you the invoice. They won't. Yankee Ford will, and then take $1,000 off that price. Just over the Casco Bay Bridge in South Portland. Online 24/7 at yankeeford.com.
We are back here. We've had the introduction of the starting lineups. We gave them to you. We've had the playing of the national anthem. When we're ready to go in this rivalry game between Lewiston and St. Dom's here at the Norway Savings Bank Arena. This is Dave Wing. We've got Tyler on our camera tonight and Caleb Lamb on his way. There was a little mix-up here, and Caleb didn't realize that he was coming in tonight, so we will kind of stiver on until he gets here. He's our #1 broadcaster, and we'll be anxious for him to get here. So we're ready for the face-off. It's La Rochelle for Lewiston. Flipped in deep. They're going to wave off icing. St. Dom's going to take it behind the net. That is Willett. Try to come up the boards. Again, pinned in. Frechette going to get a shot off. Saved by Fuchs into the corner. That's St. Laurent. And St. Dom's going to come away with it. They're going to work it up the boards. Oh, it gets away again. Shot from the point. That's Bossy. Again, another save by Fuchs. St. Dom's pinned in. Lewiston all over him so far. Out in front. It's going to be skated off. Number 11, Zach Pelletier. And they do finally clear it. Saints trying to clear, change. I mean, they've got everybody going at once. Lewiston Frechette into the corner, and it's up into the net. So the faceoff's going to come outside of the offensive zone for the Saints. Blue Devils really had St. Dom's penned in. This is Blanchette. And Lewis. Pass all the way across. Deflected. Going to go in. Smith's going to play it. Jacob Smith, the Lewiston goaltender tonight. We've seen a couple of different guys in goal. Out to the point. Oh, breakaway. Here comes Alex Robert. Misses it. Nice save by Fuchs. Boy, I tell you, he's kept St. Dom's in the games, in the early games we've seen. Back out to the point. Another shot. Again, saved by Fuchs. Here comes Fletcher, trying to get it up off the boards. Again, stop. Robert back into the corner. Lewiston going to try to change. They're going to change at least half their line. Into the corner. Back, reverse. Back in behind their goal and off the boards. Going to be stopped. Off Robert's skates and into the St. Dom's defensive zone. Pass across. Back up in front. And again, Lewiston, boy, pinning them in. St. Dom's can't seem to get moving at all. Just off the mark, and it's going to be icing. And they're going to bring it all the way back down. So with 12:58 to go here in the opening period, the score is no score here. And again, Lewiston dominating the play. They're going to go, Gunnar Wade is going to face off here with Webster. And again, shot all the way. It's going to be another icing on the Saints. So again, you can feel that the Saints are feeling penned in. They can't seem to get any offense started, and they've iced it twice just to kind of break the pressure. So same two in there to face off. It's kind of a tie-up, going to go to nobody, and the Saints going to come away with it. Going to rim it around the back. Oh, funny bounce. Going to come outside the zone, but again, right back to Lewiston. Although the Saints finally do get control of it. Ryan Davis going to drive it all the way in behind the net. D to D. Lewiston coming up off the board. Puck is stopped, but it's knocked away. That is Gunnar Wade. Didn't get much of a shot off yet. It looked like a breakaway. He didn't quite get it. Oh, we got a man down. And Lewiston on the attack. They did finally blow the whistle. Number 11 in the corner. That is Zach Pelletier. Looks like maybe his right knee. Can't tell exactly. While he's down, we're going to take a quick break here for a quick spot. And we'll be right back after this.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
We're back. Pelletier is being helped off by the trainer. The faceoff is going to be back in the St. Dom's end to the right of Gaston Fuchsa. It's going to be St. Laurent against Willette. And again, kind of a stalemate. It comes all the way back out into the corner. Again, Lewiston really pinning St. Dom's in their own zone. Again, played back in by Cox. Going to bring it out the other side, pass out front. Oh, and it gets away from Blanchette. He's going to have to play it across. Cox again back in. Tipped away. Nobody over here in this wing. The Saints fired in. That was Fletcher. And here comes Lewiston trying to mount an attack. That is Frechette, Sam Frechette. All the way in. Fuchs is going to freeze that puck and hold it right there. So again, 11:22 to go here in the opening period. No score. Lewiston at St. Dom's at the Norway Savings Bank Arena. Webster facing off against Robert. Alex Robert, the Lewiston captain. Puck doesn't come all the way out. Back in front. Quick shot again. Blocker saved by Fuchsa. And finally, the Saints are going to kind of break the puck out. They don't get very far with it, although it gets kind of bogged up in the feet. And it goes up into the bench area, and it's going to face-off's going to be all the way back in the Lewiston defensive zone. They flipped it up, and it went into their bench area. Again, no score here. 11:02 here left in the first period. Face-off in the Lewiston defensive zone. Kind of a stalemate. Puck comes loose. Lewiston going to try to play it out. It goes into the corner. Again, St. Dom's playing it all the way back around. Stopped by Lewiston. And again, nice job. A little better forecheck by St. Dom's now. As Lewiston going to go behind. That's Bossy, the captain. He was our player of the game last week when they played a game against Edward Little. And they're going to ice it, so it's going to come all the way back. They're going to be back in the St. Dom's offensive end again. 10:36 to go here in the opening period. A period clearly dominated by Lewiston so far. Here's the faceoff in the zone. A shot right away, and Smith with a nice. Jacob Smith with a nice glove save. And we'll do it again. Lewis facing off against, looks like Robert. I can't see the number. It is Robert. And Bossy going to go behind. He gets by the check. Puck's going to go into the zone. It's going to be taken around behind. It's going to bounce out front off the border, but Robert's there to keep it in. Going to go behind Ryan Davis. And again, the Saints trying to find a way to get it out through. Played off the boards, but again, not out. All the way across now. Oh, nice body check by number 9, Evan Cox. And that'll slow your offense down a little bit. Now, puck being played, not much happening right here. Center ice, pass up in front. Lewiston players all over. William Fletcher, again, being penned in against the boards. The Saints out to the point. Willette, again, played back in behind the net. That's Phelan. Back out to Willette again. He's going to take a shot. Wrister, which wide of Smith. Oh, play out front. Again, nice defense. Number 43, that's Mathon. Smith with another nice save up on the boards. Again, nice forecheck now by the Saints. Changed the tide of things a little bit here as they've kept Lewiston pinned in a little bit. And again, ignored the puck, and I think they're going to call that interference. Didn't touch the puck. They're going to call number 19, that is Michael Silly, interference. He had the right idea. He didn't want Lewiston to break out with it, but Lewiston hadn't touched the puck, so it's definitely interference. So power play with 8:50 to go. Silly in the box. Puck out front, and it's going to be knocked all the way down by number 6. Mackenzie Pelletier, one of their captains. Smith falls down. There was an open net, but nobody there. Again, single man forecheck. Down into the zone. Frechette, back out front, back over to Frechette. Here's a shot from out front, and Fuchsia with a nice glove save. My partner's here. Not his fault. He didn't know he was doing the game tonight. I don't know how he rushed over here, but it's a good thing he lives here now, not out of town. No score. Still 1:19 to go in the power play. 8:08 to go here in the first period. Shot from out front again. Fuchsia with another nice save. Into the corner, and the Saints are going to rim the puck and clear it all the way down. Owen Cox back to get it, and they'll regroup back here. They've got Robert in there, Frechette, and number 8, La Rochelle. Here comes Frechette. He's their speed demon. Going to play it back to him. No, now he's going to go to the net. To the off wing. Again, Fuchsia in the right spot.
And Dave, that is what he does best, is get in front of those efforts, and a very athletic goaltender watches one flutter by. And no worries, Dave, I knew you could handle this without me.
No problem. Your cheeks are a little red. That means you were racing. Did you have to park in downtown Auburn? Or what?
We're only a couple miles away as a shot gets deflected over the top of the net. Fuchsia getting a piece of that one, but the helmet comes dislodged, and that's not a new thing for him this season.
No, we've seen that, and we've seen the loose the goal off the moorings, too. We've seen a couple of those.
The clips that we've seen on that very, very fancy and well-painted face mask for Gaston Fuchsia this year have taken quite a beating over the course of this season, as he's had a number of shots glance off the top there. Midway through this first period, still looking for a first goal in this game, something that St. Thomas has had problems with as of late, suffering a couple of shutout losses and riding the luck of their good goaltending, but not being able to give him the offensive support to work with it. Against this Lewiston Blue Devils team, they're going to need to be able to come up with a couple of ways to find some goals. This one deflected back towards the left point, carried on, lugged back all the way across, and chance to shuffle it back around, but only 10 seconds remaining in the power play, and it's jammed at by Gosselin over to the far side. Willett reaching for it, forcing it back to the point. Shot from distance missing wide, and we are back to 5-on-5 hockey, and immediately to the bench goes Silly. And we've got another arm up and another penalty being called immediately for interference. And Pouchard gets pushed over. Ben St. Laurent did not appreciate some kind of coming together there and throws the freshman to the ice, and I'll be surprised if he doesn't pick up a second minor for that. But the penalty looks like to be going against Evan Cox, the senior forward, and he is the only man in the box at the moment. Still 2 minutes up on the board, and after a good kill for a power play chance, now the Saints will go a man up themselves and see if they can cash in for the first goal of the hockey game with 6:45 to play. Face off to the right wing circle. In for the draw on that far side. Jacob Lewis, the sophomore forward, knocking this one back to Fletcher. Willett sitting up at the point. Right wing circle. Nifty move inside and a pass. Looking at the back post to try and pick out Fletcher. Just missed him. Silly from the left point. Plays it wrong from the hash marks. Back up top straight away. Willett lets one go. Blocked immediately down in front of him. As a nice job getting the legs together by Alex Robert. Mac Pelletier to the bench. He'll be replaced as a puck sent towards the crease is jammed all the way down, and Fuchsia will have to stop it there and allow his team to regroup. Blue Devils head to the bench to change up the penalty killers with 1:25 remaining in the 5-on-4.
Good job by Jacob Smith to begin this game in the net.
Dangling over to the near side and looking for room to get up top, Zachary Pelletier. Looked to put on the brakes at the left hash marks, but blew a tire, and the skates failed him, allowing Lewiston to get it clear once again. Fuchsa comes a long way out to play it. Up to Lewis. He'll peel off the near side boards and pushes that one at his goaltender by accident. Fuchsa says, never mind, I'll cover it up, and leave it for Willette eventually, as again, more miscommunication from the defenseman for the Saints. Dropped off as they cross the blue line over to Fletcher on the near side wing, and he'll look to put it on goal from the top of the circle, jammed away, and all the way down the ice by Dustin La Rochelle.
Yeah, pretty poor passing by the Saints here in their power play. They really haven't had just one really decent chance.
Just looking like they're in need of someone to grab this game by the horns for them and settle them down as they come across here. Sent all the way around to the far side where it's kept alive there by Wolverton. Tries to play it onto the stick of Webster. He's tied up. Sent back to the right point. Wolverton looking for him to shoot. Fires one on. Save made. Rebound. Score! Thumped home on the rebound by Jaden Webster as he put it underneath the pad of the goaltender, and not much that Smith could do about it as he just couldn't cover that low one up when it deflected, and he had no choice but to get the pad in front, and that usually leads to a goal mouth scramble. Power play goal with 4:59 remaining in the first period.
Yeah, Zach Pelletier with a nice rebound. Was just laying there, and he laid it in with 4:59 to go.
So a power play does lead to the game's first goal, just not what most people would have expected. Webster able to knock home that shot after Wolverton let it rip from the right point, and from the far side wing, dumped in on goal. Lewiston will see what they can do on the counterattack. Jacob Story sending that one deep. Hit high off the glass to the far side, over the head of the ducking captain, Mac Pelletier. Alex Robert, captain for Lewiston, trying to knife his way around the crease, could not. Thrown on target, another pad save made by Fuchsa. Kept in, shot from the far side is just whacked at by the glove hand of Pelletier, and down the ice it goes. Zach Pelletier will peel off for the change, as does the rest of his line. Lewis comes cruising to the near side, turning away from him, Cox, who took the penalty that led to the opening goal. 4:12 remaining in the first period. Willette gets back inside his own blue line, across for Gosselin at the near side wing. For Fletcher, looked to push it by his man. Owen Cox could not, and it's Lewiston who comes the other way. Robert sends in front for Evan Cox onto his backhand. Couldn't redirect it on target. Picks it up behind the net at the end boards. Lewis trying to jostle him free in the far corner. It's over there where it's sent up by Willette, but not out once again. Ryan Bossy, one of the captains for the Blue Devils, sending it all the way around to the near side corner. Robert sends behind. Cox coming behind the net with it. Goes back to the point. Bouncing puck, and no chance for Sam LaRoche to be able to pick that one up. He's got to hurry back under some pressure from Ryan Davies. Forced it away to the far corner, and having to put on the brakes is Bossy, and they will set up behind their own net. Nice play there by Sam Frechette to just quickly shuffle it to him, and it gives them some room to start the breakout. Frechette, look out as Pelletier forced the turnover. Stinging drive blockered away as Webster nearly had his second in as many minutes, as he had a turnover come right to him in the high slot and hammered it at the goal mouth. Good save by Smith in net. Forced to the far side, Silly, keeping it inside the blue line, wraps this one all the way around. Standing room only crowd here at the Norway Savings Bank Arena as it's played to the point, kept in by Silly. Wrist shot broken up off the stick of Webster, but he took the sting out of the drive. Cleared only as far as Silly at center. He'll shuffle it down the left wing boards, wraps all the way around, and hustling after it to the far side, LaRoche has to sweep it back for his captain, Bossy. On the breakout, they'll try and come with St. Laurent. Under pressure, poke check, knocked it free. Recovered at neutral ice by Zach Pelletier. He dumps it back in, and the Blue Devils looking uncomfortable. Not the free-flowing team that we're used to seeing with this offense for a squad that's 9-0 on the season and undefeated once again.
Yeah, they've had some sloppy, weak passes, quite frankly.
Turned over, though, and a chance for them to race in towards the net, but not a good angle towards the net for Ridgefield, and he is bumped off the puck. Gets some help out there as coming across Chad Lynch forces it to the far side. Back to the point it goes, and it's sent in deep by John Mathon. Whacking at it to the far side, right in front of the St. Dom's bench. It's cleared by Mac Pelletier, the captain. Second line hustles back on, but icing whistled. And the faceoff will come with 1:51 remaining in this first period. A 1-0 lead for St. Thomas thanks to a power play goal from Jaden Webster. And looking like they might have a feeling about pulling the upset, especially if they can get good goaltending like they've had so far.
Yeah, so far it has been. You know, early in the game, St. Thomas couldn't get out of their zone. So it's been a game of 2 half periods here.
Off the face-off, sent back by Frechette. Shot from the point, tipped just wide and over to the right wing corner. Recovered there. They look to go back to the point with it. Blanchett wanted it. Instead, it goes across for Cox, who risks one that's blocked off and cleared out of the zone by Gosselin. Recovered there in the neutral zone. Blanchett tries a cross-ice pass, but off the mark, and that is going to be icing with Wolverton back. No, they wave it off very late as that puck did slow down, and it's turned over. Robert, high slot, fan on the shot, rebound, save! Fuchsa with the left pad, and he clamps both legs on top of it in the Snow Angel to get the cover-up with 1:21 left. Outstanding save there, moving to his left.
You know, it's interesting. Unlike the NHL where you got to keep your guys on there, there's no downside to icing the puck other than a face-off in your zone. But it does kill a momentum, and it slows the game down and so on.
See more teams willing to do that,
yes.
But of course when you've got a team like the Blue Devils, you want to keep them out of the offensive zone as much as you can. Frechette off the face-off, tried to go right to the crease, couldn't get it, but he'll pick it up in the far side corner. Back to the point, Blanchett fires, score! Tipped in front, and that hopped over the top of Fuchsa. Stings the back of the cage with 1:10 left to go in the first. We're even at 1 apiece.
Looks like number 6, they're all patting him on the back.
If Blanchett's drive did not hop off a Lewiston player, may have been tipped in front off a stick for St. Thomas, but his wrist shot looked to change the angle through a screened Fuchs that didn't pick it up, and then all of a sudden he noticed it glancing over his left shoulder from a low to high effort. But Blanchett will take credit for it right now. And I think they've picked up a puck to present to him, as I believe that should be his first varsity goal. Sent to the far side. Dumped in just wide of the Lewiston net. Delayed offside from St. Thomas, so they have to clear the zone and now head back in on the forecheck. It's Lewis who goes behind the net to put pressure on. Puck came right to his backhand. He didn't realize it as it shuffled up the right wing side. Pelletier sends it back deep. Smith directing his defenseman towards it, but it's Fletcher who gets there first. Lewis sends back for him. Final 40 seconds ticking off the first period clock here as it goes back to the point, rolled over the stick of Pelletier on a tough bouncing puck. Silly will send one in, and it had to be gloved down by Smith, but he's able to get it out of the basket, catch, and allow Blanchett to play it around to the far side. Tipped on in the direction of La Rochelle. Oh, Willette decked in the head, and that's a penalty upcoming. He was hit high with an elbow, and that's going to be the 2-minute call with only 23.7 seconds left. Unless St. Dom's has a quick goal here, they will start the second a man up.
Yeah, the official out here at the blue line had a better angle on it and definitely saw the elbow up high. He didn't hesitate at all to make that call.
Lewis skating into the right wing circle for this draw. He's got Wolverton and Gosselin behind him, setting up if they can tee off on a quick face-off win. Referee making sure they're separated. Lynch trying to win it against him, but it's one back to Wolverton. He fires, save made, rebound loose at the right side of the goal, and Lewis overskated it. Picked up, backhand shot, save, rebound, still loose in the crease. Smith has it under a pad and gets the referee's whistle.
That was a little cluster under there, wasn't it? A lot of guys going on. The puck is in the goal, but the rule for the official is if he loses sight of it, he blows the whistle.
It was certainly close as a couple of pad saves were made by Smith, but he didn't have it near a part of his body he could cover up with. Off the draw again. Lewiston forced back to the point. Wolverton sends it around. 10 seconds remaining in the period. Here comes Fletcher. He'll get to it. Tries to pass in front of the net. Tries a backhander. Gets it to the slot. Jammed away. Gosselin will fire. Didn't get all of it. And that's going to do it for the period. 1-1 tie after some late goals. A power play effort in the final 5 minutes had St. Dom's on top. But with 70 ticks on the clock remaining, Lewiston ties it up. St. Dom's will be on the power play when we get the second period started. But both these teams have a chance to talk about the game plan and what they've seen out of the first period from each other. We'll take a break ourselves. When we come back, we'll break down the first period for you in our intermission report. You're watching coverage of our Game of the Week, and from our Spectrum Healthcare's broadcast booth, we'll be right back. You're listening to it on 105.5 Maine's Big Z.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All playing on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations. Or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org.
Back at the Norway Savings Bank Ice Arena alongside Dave Wing, I'm Caleb Lamb. After a first period that had some late goals, we're no closer to figuring out a winner. A 1-1 tie between the Lewiston Blue Devils and the St. Dom's Saints. And some good action on both sides. St. Dom's finally growing in the game with the use of that power play, and they'll start the second period with the man advantage as well to try and find a go-ahead goal.
Yeah, early in the first period, Lewiston penned, they had St. Dom's penned in their end, seriously, about 3.5 minutes. They could not get it out, period, other than icing it, and they just kept coming back, and they didn't get a lot of shots on goal because their passing wasn't very crisp, but they dominated the play. Then, as you said, St. Dom's started to get their legs a little bit and took advantage of their first power play and got a goal out of it. Lewiston answered, and now St. Dom's got another goal. So we've had a little bit of everything here in the first period.
This does have the look of a Blue Devils team that's not quite as having an easy time of it as they had over their last few games. They had a couple of close contests, a 5-4 overtime victory against Biddeford, and then just squeaking past Falmouth with a 5-4 win, but had opened the offensive taps up as of late with 10-1 win over Mount Ararat, having knocked off Chevers by a 5-1 scoreline, and handling Edward Little okay with a 4-1 victory. But St. Dom's, especially with the goaltender they have, it seems like that's the difference maker. It really does take a special kind of shot. You can't just put a good effort on target and expect that it's going to squeak in. You've got to change the angle or get a deflection if you're going to beat Gaston Fuchsa.
Yeah, I looked at the heel points before I came over today, and actually St. Dom's, it looks to me like right now are in 6th place, which is the last playoff spot, which is a little uncharacteristic for them. And it is strange because with that good a goaltending, you would think that they would have, they just need a couple goals and they got a pretty good shot to win. So gonna be anxious to see down the end of the season. That was a big win for Edward Little to beat Cape. It vaulted them all the way up to 2nd place. I don't think they're quite that good yet, although I'm sure that they're going to improve with Norm Gagne. But Lewiston's, again, been a little erratic. I did the Falmouth game with Aaron, and Lewiston jumped out way out in front, and then Falmouth got a couple of goals, and then suddenly it was 5-4 at the end. I don't think it was that close a game, but it was a good game nonetheless. You know who I haven't seen? I can't remember if it was you and I or Aaron and I when we did the first St. Dom Lewiston game. Dominic Chassis looked great young freshman, and he got crunched and didn't return. And I haven't seen his name in any of the box scores since. So I don't know if that's a long-term injury for him, but that would certainly make some difference because he gives them some speed that they don't necessarily have otherwise.
And it's not necessarily a very deep St. Dom's squad, a smaller roster, certainly a lot smaller than what you've got for Lewiston, but a standalone team nonetheless, and a very young team that's finding its way, even if they're only really rolling basically two lines that get 90% of the playing time, and they try to mix in some forwards after that. But they have made it work for them. They just haven't been able to find good offensive explosions of contests since that 3-1 loss to Lewiston, suffered a shutout loss to Bangor, and also coming up so close in a Thornton Academy defeat, a 2-1 loss in overtime. But a loss is a loss, and they count the same regardless of whether you're close or you get blown out. And as you pointed out, they are, in terms of heel points, right now on the cusp of making the playoffs. Still should be fine once things shake out at the end of the season, and a very tough schedule that St. Dom's has had as well.
Yes.
Right now in this contest, the goals coming in the later stages of it. 4:57 left on the power play was when that rebound was poked home by Jaden Webster, and he nearly found another one a few minutes later when a turnover came to the high slot, and it was a good blocker save from Jacob Smith. And for the Lewiston goaltenders, a little rare for them to have so much activity down on their end of the ice. It's usually been something where as long as the goaltending is making the easy saves or making the saves that as a goaltender you should make, that's been enough for Lewiston in the past. They might need something, though, a little bit extra, especially if this game stays close to the next period.
Yeah, I'm sure St. Dom's coaches have told them, hey, guys, we only have, we got to win some of these games that are worth some heel points. And this is the ultimate worth heel points right here, the #1 team. So I suspect that they came to play tonight. They looked a little ragged at the beginning, but again, I think St. Dom's always needs to know in the back of their mind that their goaltender is going to keep them in almost every game.
Right now, we've got a couple of minutes remaining until we return to the ice, and Fuchsa will get a little bit more rest. He has really been one of the standout players this season, and you could easily make the case for him being team MVP and could win some more accolades going forward if this St. Dom's team can make a push into the playoffs. Categorized only, though, as a junior, so it's not like he'd be able to come in and win the Travis Roy Award or anything like that, but certainly has been a difference maker for his team, and we've seen that a lot in Maine high school hockey over the years, Dave. It's not always the older players that make the impact. Skill is skill and talent is talent, and it doesn't matter how old or young you are.
No, I think from the time I began coaching way back in the, I'm not going to tell you, early 70s, I guess I can lay it out there. We never, I coached at Skowhegan, Bangor, Brewer, whatever. Freshmen, I didn't even know who they were. They played on a freshman team. We never saw them. Now, it's pretty standard operating procedure, even at these bigger schools, to see freshmen, see them make a contribution, not just be on the team. And I think that's been, for me, one of the biggest changes is the teams are smaller in number, and we see younger kids.
One team you won't see freshman players on is this Lewiston squad that's made up of a lot of upperclassmen and just a lot of players. But right now, all that experience hasn't got them in front just yet. Blue Devils managed to tie it late. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have second period action ready to get underway for you. As right now, the Blue Devils knotted up at 1 apiece with St. Dom's after 1. Second period when we return next here on 105.5 Maine's Big Z.
It's the most dangerous driving distraction. It's not an age-specific issue. It's not driver-specific. It makes car accidents up to 23 times more likely to occur. When it comes to texting while driving, you're only good at it until the one time you aren't.
I'm Chris Condon from United Insurance. Pick up your free bumper sticker at any United Insurance location. Please don't text and drive.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, Athletic Apparel Consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com. Full Court Press is on your team. Full Court Press is more than just a coffee shop. Some of their print services include color copies, black and white copies, posters, bindings, calendars, cards, business cards, and every door direct mail. They're located at 855 Main Street in Westbrook. Call them today at 207-464-0002 or request an estimate, place an order, and much more on their website at fullcourtpress.biz. That's fullcourtpress.biz. When you need a coffee shop to bring the heat, it's time to hire Full Court Press.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Back inside the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth alongside Dave Wing, I'm Caleb Lamb. Second period about ready to get underway as both teams have returned to the ice and going through their little warm-up around their each side of the ice. Lewiston in a full huddle right now. It would appear that they are not very happy with the way they played in that first period of play, with breaking the huddle with some enthusiasm and hoping that they can come up with a road victory. Not that they've had to travel very far, just a quick jaunt across the bridge as they continue this rivalry between the two most successful high school programs in the state of Maine. Ready to face off, and Lewis ties up his man. Fletcher tried to come away with the puck as we're back underway. Power play for St. Dom's. Down to a minute and a half remaining as the first couple seconds come off the period clock. They'll set up behind the net. Fletcher skating up the right wing boards, makes a nice move through center. He'll skate on to the left, crosses the midway stripe, gets over the blue line, and slams on the brakes at the hash marks to set up. His pass, though, tipped away by La Rochelle, and he might have had a chance to free up Frechette. Fuchs stops it. He'll play it himself, angled out to center, but nobody there to pick it up. Stopped by Silly. Willette will skate to it. Trying to break this one out from behind the net as Fletcher takes it off.
Yeah, that was an errant pass. Too bad, because I think he might have had a breakaway.
Fletcher, nice move through the neutral zone, over to the left wing circle, goes to the boards. This was where he tried to set up and had problems last time. Goes for the shot this time and just missed Lewis. Puck came awkwardly off the boards. Willette sends it back to Fletcher, but his stick is checked, and the puck floated to the neutral zone. First minute gone here in our 15-minute second period. 35 seconds to go in the power play time before Blanchett is released from the box. It was his goal that got us tied up with just more than a minute remaining in the time in the second period. Willette through the neutral zone, pass to the right wing side for Lewis. He'll have to dump this one in deep. Pelletier in after it. Picked up by Jacob Story. He tries to play it around. Big hit leveled, but Robert able to bounce off of it and gets this one clear. Only 10 seconds till we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Willette turned back at his own blue line in the face of pressure there, being put on by Jack LeBlanc. Sent to the far side and all the way down past Story. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. As out of the box comes Blanchett. Straight to the bench he goes to be replaced by Cox. And Willette bumped off the puck. A 2-on-1 the other way. Mac Pelletier speeding back after it. Offside is whistled against the Blue Devils as the pass was too far behind the man coming in the zone.
I like it. The officials have the whistle on their finger, not on around their neck. He pointed, and by the time he got the other hand up there, they'd already skated all the way into the dot.
Wouldn't have any time whatsoever to try and mess with a whistle on a string around their neck, not especially in hockey. You're more likely to have that fling up and catch you in the face, especially when some of these referees have to jump up over the top of pucks or dodge players as they are right in the thick of the action. We've seen that a couple of times this year. At this arena, it was when a referee took a puck deflected into the face. So
that's right.
Who says reffing isn't as difficult as being the players out on the ice itself? Sent in behind the net by St. Dom's, putting in after it. And getting a nice chance to push that one by was Hunter Hughes as he got the puck away from Blanchett. But it's broken out by Field. Across he goes for Lynch. Those two trying to come up the ice together. Puck just wouldn't settle down for them as it was rotating around all over the place. Skipped through the neutral zone. Hughes couldn't handle the high lobbing pass. Dumped in over the top of the net by Blanchett. And to the far side it goes. Gunnar Wade giving it to Field. Lynch to the right wing side. Puck stolen away by Wolverton. Leans on one, got around a second man, and a hit leveled on Wade, while two more players came together in the center circle. Gave some room to skate ahead by LaRoche. Throws a shot on, fought off by Fuchsa. To a side scrum at the near boards. It comes loose for Gosselin behind the net. He's under pressure from two. Gets the pass away. Hughes trying to poke it up ahead. LaRoche stopped it there. And from the neutral zone, Frechette sends it deep behind the St. Dom's cage. 3 minutes gone here in the second period. 1-1 tie, St. Dom's in Lewiston at the Norway Savings Bank Arena in Auburn, Maine. As the puck comes across, chance for a shot on, deflected on target, and a right pad answer made. Ben St. Laurent with a good deflection on that effort from Sam LaRoche. Turned over, Fletcher, he's sent crashing to the ice. Back to LaRoche at the left point, skating in, fired one too high out of play. With 11:36 to go.
Both teams a little sloppy in their passing. Hasn't been a very crisp game. You can't say they're flat because they're really flying up and down, but not very crisp.
Faceoff will stay in the offensive zone, but right now that's been the energy line, so to speak, that third line unit for Lewiston that's been getting some major minutes over the last few moments here. Perhaps a message being sent as they are trying to pick up the intensity level. Hasn't had the look of the same Lewiston team we're used to seeing. St. Dom's sends this one into the offensive zone. Puck wrapped around to the far side. Frechette will get there. He is hammered and drilled down to the ice. Big hit delivered by Silly, but Frechette back to his skates A-OK. Long pass for La Rochelle. Tipped into the offensive zone. Willette under pressure. Steps around a hit from Frechette as he'll look to pick up the physical game to match. Puck knocked to the side of the net. Wraparound attempt. Jammed off the blade of La Rochelle.
That's the thing I was missing early. The physical play. It's coming now.
These two rivals, all it takes is one big hit, and then somebody gets the big hit in revenge, and then next thing you know, it's turned into more of a boxing affair than a hockey game. This one sent around to the near side for Willette. He'll get to the right wing boards, trying to send that one up and out of the zone. Pelletier turns it back, and Silly will skate behind the net. Nice move to get the puck away from the forechecker. Pelletier, the captain for St. Dom's, sending this one ahead on to younger brother Zach Pelletier. He has to race in after it as Bossy gets to it behind the net. Nice little turn from him to avoid the check from Pelletier, and he'll start it ahead. Carried through the neutral zone. Robert right down the middle. Nice move to his forehand. Cuts it alone. Saved by Fuchs. It turned him away. 10:13 remaining here in the second period, and Lewiston unable to get the go-ahead goal right now.
Good bid, though.
Excellent chance, and Fuchs has stayed right with him as Robert will come out of his own zone here, lugging down the right wing boards. He's got Cox, goes for the quick shot. It's blocked off by a body. Davies trying to get that one ahead, but Robert quickly steals it back for Lewiston. From their own zone, they set it up to the near side. Bossy under some pressure. Davis took it away, tried to feed it down low for Lewis, but turned over. Robert sees a man up the far side. It's Cox. He goes to the right wing side, looks for a pass right down the middle, just missed on Jack LeBlan's stick. Floated through the neutral zone by St. Dom's. Lewiston with Blanchett chops it down inside his own zone. Gosselin recovers it outside his own blue line. Pass to the right wing boards. Davis will send it deep and peel off for the line change. Fletcher, he's the lone man on the forecheck. Webster, though, out to join him and forces it back to the point for Silly. Tries to send it deep, knocked at, and Silly tried to step into a check, turned it over. LeBlanc with some speed beats Webster, 2-on-1 developing, finds Robert, shoots and scores! Alex Robert beats him on the blocker's side. The 2-on-1 turns out to be finally the chance that puts the Blue Devils into the lead for the first time tonight. 9:05 to go, 2-1, thanks to the captain.
Beautiful look and pass by LeBlanc. Just outstanding.
Excellent move there with a chance to really perhaps stop and try to get a pass to the center, but LeBlanc noticing that Webster was on his heels a little bit and flew right by him before the forward for St. Dom's could accelerate into the play. Lewiston goes right back into the offensive zone off the faceoff. Puck stolen back away by Phelan. Pelletier, or check that, it's Hughes rather, who loses out on it. Silly recovers, sends it to the far side for Webster. He has the lone goal tonight for St. Dom's so far, jamming home a rebound, which put them up 1-0 late in the first period. 2-1 lead, though, now for Lewiston. And a penalty is going to be dished out for a check from behind there. No, they'll call it an elbow, with St. Dom's Jaden Webster going to the box for that hit.
Boy, that would be the one thing with the score 2-1 that St. Dom's doesn't want, is to give Lewiston a power play. They've been so good at it over the last several years. Not as vaunted as we've seen in the past, but still potent.
Face off on the far side. Robert wins it back to the point. Shuffled over to the far side for Bossy from the right point. He sends it down low to Frechette. Gets it straight back, straight away. Low wrist shot, tipped off a stick in front. That was Zach Pelletier who blocked it aside. Mack tries to skate with it, and he ends up flinging it just out of the reach of Owen Cox and recovered in the neutral zone. Bossy from his own blue line. Pass up the far boards. He's got Robert skating against Pelletier. Dropped it off for Frechette. Just stayed onside along the blue paint. Drop pass. Robert from the slot. Shoots. Just missed wide as he tried to go glove side this time against Fuchs. A shot rang off the outside of the goalpost as it was flung at the net from that far side by Cox. Bossy covering at the left point. Has it back to him. Minute and 20 remaining on the power play time as La Rochelle run into in the near corner by Jack Willett. Puck poked free to Alex Robert. Nice pass in front. Frechette shot, save. Rebound, loose at the far side of the net. Another excellent left pad save made by Fuchsa. And this one's blocked out. Chance to hustle onto it for Pelletier. He'll go one-on-one with Cox. And he is jammed into the boards as he flung it deep into the zone to get some more time killed.
Thought that was interference.
Looked to be pretty close as he tried to time it with the moment Pelletier touched the puck to deliver that hit. Goes uncalled, and with 45 seconds remaining in the power play, puck turned over to Wolverton in his own end. He sends it long. Fletcher was camped out. This puck goes behind the net. He'll get to it first. Pass looking for Lewis, just jammed away by Owen Cox. And the puck picked up by Evan, who will skate down the middle. 3-on-2 rush over the blue line. Gets around Gosselin. Circles down low. Fires one from the sharp angle. And Fuchsa holding off that near post. Shot from the point, sent wide. 20 seconds remaining in the power play time. 7 minutes left in this second period. Blue Devils have a 2-1 lead over the St. Dom's Saints. Battle for it in the corner. Bossy goes across to the far side. Gets it back straight away. Feeds down low to the bottom of the near circle. Stepping around, looking for someone to pass by, but Wolverton shadowing Cox, who drops it off for Bossy from the right circle. Shot, rebounds, no, it went off the post, and the rebound put wide. Looked like it had gone in on a backhand shot, but the referee emphatically waves it away.
He was right there.
Beat the goaltender on his right pad, but it came instantly out the other side of the goal and apparently didn't cross the goal line in the process. Fletcher across the blue line from the right wing. Throws one wide, hard off the glass as we return to 5-on-5. Gosselin tries to get it deep. Knocked down in front, 2-on-1. Davis to the far side. Oh, he didn't get all of it on the one-timer. Put it back in front, but it's jammed away. Excellent chance to tie the game right there for the Saints. Just couldn't capitalize. Gosselin sent back to his own end. Up the boards for Wolverton. From the right wing side, couldn't get it deep. Bossy sends it through the neutral zone, and that's where Gunnar Wade picks it up. LeBlanc had it touch off his stick. Knocked off the near boards, only as far as Bossy for the Blue Devils. Pass to center, turned over for Gosselin. Knocked down in the neutral zone by Phelan. He'll skate to it on the left wing boards and gets across. Looking for him to fire one. Fluttered it just wide on the far post. Up the near side boards, Wade is run into and run off the puck by Phelan. Those two tangled with each other as a stick got caught under the helmet of Wade. He's A-OK as Hughes drops it for Phelan. Knocked out over the blue line, and the Saints will have to get back on side, giving some room for Lynch. Sets it up to the near side boards. Wade hammered into again by Silly. Willett from his own end. Pass up the left wing side for Hughes. Jammed away by Robert. Lynch trying to get to it as well. Knocked free for him, and Robert, the captain, will skate it in over the blue line. Shuffled back to him by Wade. Peels off. Back to the far point. Sends across near side. LaRoche looking for him to shoot. He does. Save made. Rebound is down, but it goes wide of the cage. And Fuchsa again being manhandled in the crease. Gets a stoppage, and I think it's because the referee saw that the net got dislodged on the near post.
He does have a way of knocking the net off, doesn't he?
Well, most goaltenders do. Yeah. All you have to do is get it nice and low, especially with these high school style nets, where all it is one little metal pin that goes down. It's not the full several inches of pipe that'll go down into a slot in the crease like you'll see at the college and professional level. So if you get some good force on a post-to-post kick, you can knock it off. Most goaltenders will tell you they won't try to knock the net off the moorings that much. Everyone has that technique, but you can also risk chipping your skates as well, which can ruin the rest of your period when you can no longer move efficiently around your crease when you need to. Puck sent long into the offensive zone for the Saints. Zach Pelletier trying to get to the far side, and he could not keep it in. Frechette lays a hit that forced it into the offensive zone. Cox finds it to the right wing circle. Zach Pelletier ties him up. Frechette has it, drops it in front. Robert's shot deflected wide. Nice recovery by Pichard, who checked his stick as he went to pull the trigger. 4.5 to play in this second period. Pichard fanned on a clearing effort. Sent back up top to the near side. Cox across. Big drive. LaRoche kicked out with the left pad. Fuchsa coming across quickly there to make the save. And Frechette gets slammed down by Willette as the younger player happy to go in there against the more experienced and much larger forward. Mac Pelletier up to the near side point. Couldn't get to it, but Pichard forced it away. Recovered just as quickly by Owen Cox, who will turn and rifle this one in deep. Very close game right now, only a 2-1 lead for the Lewiston Blue Devils. Saints with Pelletier tried to get this one out. Zach Pelletier got it over the blue line, but again, Bossy camped out there, able to clear it away. From the far side boards, Willette dumps it deep, knocked back in his direction, and it's sent in from center ice on target for Smith to glove down and play behind his net. 3.5 to go. LeBlanc takes the long outlet pass, twists one long for La Rochelle. Down the left wing boards, he gets around Wolverton, put it too close to the goaltender. Fuchsa gets wiped out as La Rochelle lost his stick. We play on here. Bossy flipping one down low, gloved and played back down to the ice by LeBlanc. Lewis sending a man into the corner boards glass, but it's LeBlanc who comes away with it. Quick little shot on, and a right pad answer made by Fuchsa. Sent down low. La Rochelle spinning away from the check from Wolverton. Lewis comes hunting for him in the corner. Came up empty as it's dumped around to the near side boards. Bossy stepped in front of that challenge. Gosselin, with some help from Lewis, turns it over for St. Dom. Still in their own end of the ice. Up the far side boards they'll come. Hughes lost an edge, but still got it to center for Fletcher to fling to the near side. Lewis trying to get there first. Touched away from him, though, by Bossy. And Gosselin dumps it to the far side boards. Lewiston will take it into their own end themselves, but that's really the only time the puck's been down there in this second period.
I was going to say, this looks like the beginning of the game where they couldn't get out of their own zone.
Zach Pelletier sending down low behind the net, pushed just past Hughes. To the near side boards they come. Fletcher with it, looking to spin out of the corner if he can. He's tied up, and the puck jammed away. Up to the blue line, Gosselin sends back for Silly. He spins out of it. Gosselin from the near side boards for Fletcher. Nice little touch on for Pelletier. He'll go 1v2. Zach fires a shot on. Save made by Smith, and he pulls it back to cover up with just 2:08 remaining in the frame. Lewiston still on top thanks to the go-ahead goal by the captain, Alex Robert, but they have not been able to stretch their lead. And as we've seen, there's been a couple of chances, a 2-on-1 off a turnover most notably, for a one-time chance for St. Dom's where they could get this game tied. And as we've seen, when overtime becomes a factor, it is very tough to beat Gaston Fuchsa.
Yeah, I think after the that second goal, the 2-on-1 from LeBlanc oh, trouble with the door. I was trying to figure out, I thought somebody was sick.
Penalty box door came loose,
came
it looks
loose
a little bit on that far side, so there's no way of getting it clamped down. And I think that's going to bring a longer stoppage here while they work on it. So both teams are going to head to their bench for talking with their coaches.
Since that second goal, that by Lewiston, the momentum of the game has changed dramatically. We're back to early in the game where Lewiston dominated the play. They may do what we talked about when the official got hurt, go break early for the period break, make ice, and then come back and after the door's fixed and start over. So
right now we've got 2:08 left in the period, and as they take a look at the mount on that far side, both
discussing
referees,
with the coaches what they want to do.
I think they might be proposing that very idea right now.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
This is a lengthy mechanical issue.
Got to go find some nuts and bolts, at least.
Something I think we've seen beforehand here at the Norway Savings Bank Arena, but as I recall in years past, it was on the opposite penalty box door. And it looks like that's what they're going to do.
Wait, we're on top of it, aren't we?
Well, Dave Wing, very experienced when it comes to the world of high school athletics, that every now and then there are issues like this.
Every
and usually,
once in a while I'm right. Is that what you're saying?
Usually you've got the right idea when it comes to how to solve the issue of time, where you don't want a bunch of kids sitting around only to play 2 more minutes before you're going to have a break for ice anyways. So we will take a break ourselves. When we come back, we'll have our second intermission report. It's just going to come a little bit earlier than we expected. 2:08 remaining in the second period, but with an issue on the penalty box door, We'll step aside and be back to break down a go-ahead goal from the Blue Devils, which have them ahead after 2.75 periods. You're listening to it on 105.5 Maine's Big Z and on MBR.org.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All playing on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, athletic apparel consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered your calls 24/7, 365 days per year. Call now and talk to someone who cares. Get connected with programs for teens, men, women, LGBT, vets, or faith-based. Call 800-646-1166. 800-646-1166. Most insurance covers substance abuse, and you may have zero out-of-pocket costs. Call now for a free assessment. Find treatment that fits you or your loved one best, including teens and faith-based options that use proven gentle recovery techniques. You can get back on track. Call 800-646-1166. 800-646-1166. 800-646-1166.
Showed us the invoice of the car, took $1,000 off, showed us all the rebates. Everything was full disclosure. No other dealer would do that for us. I have had at least 5 that said that, almost verbatim.
Why don't you say that? There's nothing to hide in the commercials. I mean, it's all out there.
What's the website, Amber?
YankeeFord.com.
Marty?
YankeeFord.com.
Jay?
YankeeFord.com.
Kirk?
YankeeFord.com.
I'm a little confused here. I'm not sure what the website is. I'm not getting it.
YankeeFord.com.
Yeah, sure. That might be it.
Plus oil changes for as long as you own your car, Maine State inspections for as long as you own the car.
I think if you go to the website, the point is that we're going to have the lowest price in the market.
Yeah.
And we're going to pay you more for your used car. And when you come in here, we're going to pull the invoice and show you the cost. We're going to show you the rebates. We're going to be completely full disclosure.
Yeah.
Go ask the competitors to do that. They won't do it. Does that tell you anything?
Yeah, there's no fine print at Yankee Ford. What was that website again?
YankeeFord.com.
Right.
Look, I get it. We all got snowed in last week. You're just now getting shoveled out. And when somebody mentions something to you about summer camps, your only thought is, can I go to it right now so that I don't have to deal with the snow anymore? Totally get that. However, this February vacation week, if you're home with your kids, there is one thing that you're going to remember. If you don't have something for your kids to do, you're going to be in for a long summer. Registration is now open for University of Southern Maine's summer camps. They've got basketball, they've got soccer, they've got ice hockey, and they have a ton more. I haven't even scratched the surface on this. Find the registration links now. Go to usm.maine.edu. That's usm.maine.edu and search summer camps, or find the links right now at mbr.org. And maybe get them in shape for some of these summer camps by letting them shovel off the roof or something like that. Or the deck. Or the car. Or maybe the big wheel. Either way. University of Southern Maine summer camps, where kids should spend the summer.
Back inside the Norway Savings Bank Arena, up top in our Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth, alongside Dave Wing, I'm Caleb Lamb. 2-1 lead through almost 2 full periods. And the reason we're in our intermission has an issue with the penalty box door next to the visitors' bench that they are trying to work on fixing. So with 2:08 remaining in the period clock, they have sent the teams to the dressing rooms They'll come out, play the final 2:08, then switch ends and start the third period immediately thereafter and play till the conclusion of the game or until enough other things break that they decide to call the whole thing off, one or the other.
You think they got it fixed? They're over there. I don't see much hammering.
Unscrewing and taking things out and putting other things back in, and I think the issue is just with that latch, which is certainly something you don't want to have while kids are out there playing. All it takes is someone to put a check into that board, door opens, somebody falls in at an awkward angle, and you can easily break a bone or worse, have
USA
a
Hockey
a
used
back
to say
injury.
when you're coaching youth hockey, you better have everything closed when you're practicing, because boy, that's all you need is one of those.
Usually with the younger kids, you have to make sure they're closing the door behind them all the way when they change off the ice as well. So we see players, or I should say staff members, shuffling in and around, carrying things back and forth as they try to ratchet into place a new
One guy working, everybody else watching him, but you know. He's got
not much room in the penalty box
no,
either.
He's got a nice ratchet going there, so maybe it's tightening up. Oh, going to close the door and see. No. Yeah, it looks like it's closed. We don't know if it's going to stay closed, but
they're still testing it out. We've got a 2-1 lead on the scoreboard right now, thanks to a go-ahead goal from Lewiston's captain, Alex Robert, their forward captain, we should specify,
Yes.
did a very good job of just finishing off a 2-on-1 from Jack LeBlanc, but give a lot of credit to the junior forward setup pass with some speed, came down the right wing boards, was able to at least get Fuchs to have to focus on the shooting chance he had enough that when the pass came across, Robert was just able to beat the netminder out of the Czech Republic inside his far post on his blocker hand.
well,
and that's the only goal.
The rule of thumb is if you're playing defense and it's 2-on-1, you try to take the pass because the goalie can't defend against one that goes across and he can't get over there fast enough. But unfortunately, there wasn't much chance there because he really wasn't even halfway in between. It was a good 2-on, almost 2-on-0. And a nice pass across by LeBlanc.
That one came just a couple of minutes after Alex Robert had been denied on a breakaway, with Fuchs making an outstanding save, and he made a number of others as well on deflections in front, kicking things away with his right pass. But he didn't get any much offensive support. The best chance that St. Dom's had in the period was a Lewiston turnover that did not actually end up being a shot on goal, with Hunter Hughes floating a shot wide from the setup from William Fletcher. So that one didn't end up on target. They had a couple of efforts dumped in from long range that were on goal, but nothing to write home about in that 13-minute stretch of time.
Yeah, like I said, the momentum changed from that second Lewiston goal. We went back to what happened in the first period where, oh good, the guy running the Zamboni is the same guy's fixing a door.
Correct.
So we couldn't get any ice make until, matter of fact, they stopped the clock.
And we expect that it's going to be a little while longer before we return from a.
That changed the momentum of the flow of the game back to what it was early in the game. Actually, before you got here, when Lewiston dominated the play, they had St. Dom's penned in the entire first 4 or 5 minutes of the game. Really,
Lewiston team that has a lot of talent, a lot of players who are good at moving the puck around, but Alex Robert certainly leads that cause with his top line unit, and they have gotten some great defensive plays. We're used to seeing good puck-moving defensemen from the Blue Devils. Ryan Bossy, the best example of that, just a guy who's always there to quickly settle down a puck, even when it's attempted to dump in. He can keep it from going behind the net and bothering his goaltenders, and he just has that nice vision of the ice to be able to pick out a guy who's open on either wing and put a pass on his stick in stride so they can make use of that good team speed that they've got.
he was the last game we did, Lewiston at Edward Little, a Lewiston win also. He was our player of the game. I think we recognized that, he was outstanding. He played great defense. He captains that power play. He really looked good.
So Bobby Parker and head coach Jamie Bello for Lewiston will both have to figure out what they're going to come up with in this final frame, which will be a little bit longer than they're used to, about 17 minutes and change, not quite the full 20 you'd get at the higher levels, but I don't think that'll have any impact on things, even with a shorter bench for St. Dom's. And still a very close contest, only a 2-1 lead, but the Blue Devils are going to look to come out like they did to open this period with a full head of steam, create a lot of chances, and see if they can get that insurance goal, which might just take away some of that belief that St. Dom's could go ahead and pull out the victory against their longtime rivals.
I think what we'll see is they've always been capable of the nice skating game. Not quite as good a skating game as last year, but what we'll see is we'll see Lewiston come out this period and be very physical. See if they can intimidate St. Dom's into making a mistake. The Lewiston team's a little bit bigger and seem to be a little bit faster and, again, undefeated. So they've got a lot of confidence. They'll come out and be physical this period. Try to stay out of the penalty box themselves, but I'm expecting a good third period.
Well, we will get you set up for that. We'll take another break. When we come back, we'll recap the scoring for you in full and also set the table for this period because they are making ice, but it looks like we're still expecting about 10 more minutes or so before we return to action now that they've gotten the penalty box door issue taken care of. You're listening and watching coverage of boys high school ice hockey here in the state of Maine. The two winningest programs facing off after two. It's Lewiston 2, St. Dom's 1. Listening to it on 105.5 Maine's Big Z and watching it live here on MBR.org.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, athletic apparel consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations. Or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org.
Full Court Press is on your team. Full Court Press is more than just a coffee shop. Some of their print services include color copies, black and white copies, posters, bindings, calendars, cards, business cards, and every door direct mail. They're located at 855 Main Street in Westbrook. Call them today at 207-464-0002 or request an estimate, place an order, and much more on their website at fullcourtpress.biz. That's fullcourtpress.biz. When you need a copy shop to bring the heat, it's time to hire Full Court Press.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Yankee Ford in South Portland wants to wish all customers a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season, and to thank you for an unbelievable 2017. How does Yankee Ford in South Portland keep delivering new Ford vehicles at the lowest prices with the highest trade-in values? By letting you keep all the rebates and cutting out layers of management. You deal directly with the owner. Yankee Ford has sold more new Fords than any other dealer in Maine for one reason: full disclosure. Ask the competition to show you the invoice. They won't. Yankee Ford will, and then take $1,000 off that price. Just over the Casco Bay Bridge in South Portland. Online 24/7 at yankeeford.com.
Everything is perfect. You've got the house, the car, the life you've always dreamed of. Even on the most picture-perfect day, accidents can happen. Life is unpredictable, and your coverage really does matter. At United Insurance, we know how to protect you and the things you love from all of life's surprises.
I'm Chris Condon of United Insurance. We understand the coverage Mainers need. Visit us at coveragematters.net.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal. We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who will get the IRS off your back.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
Call Tax Solutions now. Time is running out. Call 800-399-4661. 800-399-4661. 800-399-4661.
Back inside the Norway Savings Bank Ice Arena alongside Dave Wing, I'm Caleb Lamb. 2-1 lead for the Lewiston Blue Devils as we are a few minutes away from getting our third period started. It'll really be third period plus a couple extra minutes. If you're just joining us, an issue with the Penley box door beside the Lewiston bench area, where the door apparently had an issue with the latch coming undone, where it would not stay closed, and that a big issue with play going on, and obviously the chance for a check to send a player through a board that suddenly gave way. They decided to send the teams to the locker room while they worked on that. So we'll have 2:08 to play to begin this third period plus change. Once that has expired, the teams will switch ends and go about the 15 minutes of the third period.
And the guy fixing the door was also the Zamboni guy, so they had to hold up on the clock a little bit because he was busy. So.
Have just finished making the ice, though, so wondered if we were going to see them send the teams back out there early, but I suppose no reason to hustle it too much. And
well,
coaches
you want the
will
ice to dry.
Yeah, they'll get a few minutes to chat over the last couple of things here, but mostly I think it's just to come up with a game plan for how to change things up. For Bobby Parker, he's got to find a way to jumpstart his offense.
Yeah, they just haven't scored enough goals this year. They really haven't.
It was a power play that got them the chance to get going, and Webster able to put home a rebound, had them up 1-0 with 4:57 to go in the first period. But with 1:10 left, Willie Blanchett able to tie things up with a shot from the point, appeared to tick off a body on the way through, as it ended up going from low to high over the shoulder of Fuchsa, who was down trying to cover the ice in the butterfly position through the screens. In the second period, out came Lewiston looking to get things started early, and they did. Couple of chances that were stopped by Fuchsa, but finally a 2-on-1 broke the deficit with Jack LeBlond firing one over to the left wing side, and Alex Robert just able to beat Fuchsa at his near post for a 2-1 edge. That's where we stand right now. As the referees return to the ice, they head over to the scorer's table just to make sure everything appears to be A-OK, and both teams set to come out of the locker room as well. But Dave, this has been the rivalry for so long, but for the last several years, Lewiston's been so good, had so many seasons that were either perfect or very close to perfect, and of course back-to-back state titles. St. Dom's, this would be an upset, even with the major history of this program, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah. I think the the rivalry is still pretty intense, but I think it's lost just a little bit of luster. You know, it used to be, excuse me, when this game was played at the old Colisée, you couldn't get a seat. No doubt about it. Now, it's pretty jammed in here, but
certainly
this is
can't get a seat here at the Norway Savings Bank Arena.
It's a much different arena here, seating on one side and not a lot of it. But although it makes it for an intimate, excited setting, there's no question about that. But I think the rivalries, it's dropped back just a little bit, and I think that's because Lewiston has dominated for quite a while now.
Fans here at the Norway Savings Bank Arena that did want to see and haven't been able to find an open spot in the bleachers are either in the restaurant and arcade area between the two ice rinks here at the Norway Savings Bank, or they're wrapped around on the far side of the glass. That's where a lot of the students have set up shop, as parents as well. Happy to see some action coming at them from that vertical angle. Both these teams back onto the ice and ready to go right now.
I prefer, when my daughter played in college, I prefer standing on the end.
Standing rather than seated down there?
Yeah, I like, you can see the action, the crisscross and the play along the board. You can see all those things so much better from the ends. I really like it.
Well, they've decided to go ahead and stop the clock early, and they've set up 2:08 on the board here. So we're going to get back to play right now. So we are still technically in our second period for 2 minutes and 8 seconds longer. Teams are still on the same sides that they were in that period, and then they will stop the clock and switch back. Off the drop from the right wing circle, St. Thomas with a shot on, blocked in front by Wolverton, chopped over his head, and skating after it for Frechette. Down the left wing side, cuts across with the toe drag, buried from behind. Oh, and he got smashed into the goaltender Fuchsa, who is down in some pain. He got hit hard, and that knocked the mask square back into his face, and I think the top of his head hit off the bottom of the crossbar, but that was all from Mac Pelletier, who put a huge hit from behind on Frechette. That was called for a penalty, and his goaltender paid the price.
Frechette did a nice toe drag back to the inside to get open, and then all of a sudden he got jacked from behind, and not very good for his goaltender because he took a vicious hit. We'll see whether this is a 2-minute penalty or a 5-minute major because he did hit him on full stride from behind.
Pelletier, you take your pick, hitting from behind, cross-checking, snapped his stick in the process there.
Checking from behind can be a game misconduct also. We'll see what they put up.
St. Tom's no stranger to that, and it's Gosselin who goes to the bench here. So unless I got the call wrong or unless the officials just handed out the penalty incorrectly, it looked like it was Pelletier who had delivered that big hit and not the defenseman Gosselin, at least from our view. But there were a couple of players trying to steam back in on the back check.
It is a 2-minute penalty, and they're calling it cross-check. That's the signal he just gave. So,
on the other side, Fuchsa has redonned the mask and appears to be A-OK.
Could have been multiple things from where we were standing, wouldn't it?
Certainly so. And oftentimes you'll see that space. When you're doing something wrong that's worth a penalty, normally it's because you've got a number of things in the wrong
really
position.
Vicious against the boards, the officials don't want to kick a kid out of the game if they can help it.
No. Off the faceoff on the right wing circle, a minute 56 left in our pseudo second period. And then that pretty much coincides with the end of the period time, and we will then switch ends and go immediately into the third. From the far side, Dot. Frechette getting set up, goes to Bossy. He skates down low, right in for a shot. Blockered away as Fuchsa had to be alert. There was a lot of room to shoot at for Bossy. Sent in front. La Rochelle denied off the right toe. Sent around, but not out. Here's Bossy. And a player is down in the corner in a stoppage here. Lewiston player shaken up. Appeared to lose an edge and fell awkwardly into the boards on his right shoulder.
Yeah, I didn't see. I thought he went down to the ice first and then slid toward the boards, but I didn't see what caused it. There wasn't anybody around him, I didn't think.
No, La Rochelle is the man who is shaken up. He was the one who had tried to put that shot on, was skating after the puck in the corner. And he is down in some serious pain as they bring the trainer over to him. And the rest of his line mates circling around in concern. They'll get both trainers over there to take a look as they can.
You know, these are the things you hate to see anybody get hurt. And as a coach and the team, nothing derails your season any quicker than a couple of injuries that you can't overcome.
Boards and glass are designed to have a little give into them, but it's mostly for the hits that are parallel, a vertical standing up hit into the boards and glass with players bouncing off each other. When you're falling forward at an angle, that's where there is a lot less give because the force isn't coming directly into the boards or glass, and it can be a very hard surface to make contact with.
Well, you teach kids to put their hands out when they know they're going to get knocked into the board so that they can use their hands to give a little bit so that it's not their body making the first contact. And I didn't see the whole play, but it looks like it's a shoulder.
He's up to one knee, La Rochelle, and being examined at here on both sides just to see what his level of discomfort is. So even though we only had 2:08 left to play out for our second period, we're seeing it take quite a few minutes of actual time after Fuchsa was run into very shortly after the restart of play, which led to a stoppage to make sure he was A-OK and hand out the penalty time. Lewiston player injured just 22 seconds into the start of that power play time. We still have a minute 34 on the clock, and everybody up to give a round of applause as La Rochelle very gingerly being helped back towards the Lewiston bench.
This has sure been a crazy end of this period, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Stoppage because of the issues with the penalty box door,
and
goaltender getting smashed into, and now an injury to a very important player for the Blue Devils, their alternate captain and one of their best forwards. La Rochelle will go back to the bench to be examined further and try to make sure that he's A-okay and if he can continue to play.
It's good news that he's back to the bench, though, not to the locker room. That means they think that it's something they can look at. Doesn't mean it's great, and it could be more serious than it seems, but they take him in the locker room. Then now we're talking something pretty serious.
Faceoff will come outside the zone as the stoppage had come. St. Thomas was looking to clear the puck anyways, so they will restart at center ice, and it's sent in deep from Bossy off the faceoff. Dumps to the right wing corner, knocked aside there behind the net and flung up, but not out of the zone. Bossy able to drop down to one knee to keep it there. He plays pass, gets it back from the left point, walks it across for Cox. Looking to fire low, tipped on just wide by LeBlond, who jammed it past the far post. Coming out of the corner with it, Robert sends one on, left pad saved by Fuchsa, and Pelletier will lob this one all the way down where Smith stops it off to his right-hand side. Leaving it off for Bossy.
Nice puck movement by the Blue Devils.
Owen Cox coming through the neutral zone here. Blue Devils offside. No, they'll say play goes on, and Robert fires one in, but with no traffic on, easy enough save for Fuchsa.
Wow, my eyes aren't that good, but he was more than a stride inside before he got that puck.
Looked at least a foot or so. I don't think you were wrong there.
Yep.
Sometimes close is close enough for the officials, especially on the entries on those far side. But off the draw, Lewiston tied up. Robert has to swing it back to the point. Cox from the right side looking to shoot it on, and again, no traffic in front. So Fuchsa just clamps down on it. If you're not putting traffic on a goaltender of his caliber, he's not going to give up a rebound on those straight-on shots.
I think these days most goaltenders can stop those long shots unless they're tipped.
Absolutely. Bossy off the draw, drives this one over to Cox. 42 seconds remaining in the power play time. Just a few seconds difference between that and the period clock. 30 seconds remaining before we switch ends to start the third period. Frechette from straight away, shot into the glove, and Fuchsa will clamp it down once again.
Start all the way.
So they'll try it from the right wing circle. Change coming from St. Dom's.
Isn't it fun watching Justin Pelletier? Every time there's a shot on goal, he picks up his pad and makes another mark.
Has to make sure he's tabulating the shots because they don't do that here.
He didn't miss any in the first game.
Off the face-off, Bossy fires one on, save, rebound, put in from Frechette. That one might have come off the post as Fuchsa had a peek behind him. I'm not sure he knew where that one went. Either the post didn't hear the metal cling or off his right toe, and it bounced awkwardly back across the crease. Frechette able to just slam that one in.
Yeah, I thought it was a pad save, and then bang, right back in the net.
Was a little bit farther of a stretch than he was expecting, and 20.8 seconds left in the second period. Now it's a 3-1 lead, a two-goal cushion, a power play goal for the Blue Devils. And Robert comes right back in off the face-off, going to the backhand, steers it in front, loose puck. Fuchsa made the save. Puck is still loose, 10 seconds left. Back to the point, shot on. He steers it away with the right pad. Has a glance at the clock. Right now it can't sound soon enough as it's sent up and out of the zone to end the second. Saints find their job a little bit tougher to start the 15 minutes for the third period as they are now down by 2 thanks to a power play goal.
Yeah, Lewiston has taken advantage of their power plays, no question.
Second power play goal for them, and really Lewiston can't be afforded that much room to skate around the zone. They're tough enough to contain when it's 5-on-5.
You just can't give their offense extra chances with power plays or anything like that. And like you say, 2 power play goals tonight out of their 3. 2 out of their 3. And so, and the other one was odd man rush. So there's their opportunities.
Fuchsa has been up to the task, certainly steering away a host of chances, and he heads back down to the other end of the ice. He's just going to get himself warmed up while his teammates convene at the bench to get another quick word from Bobby Parker, the head coach. Only a 2-minute break before they'll change over and start the third period. Lewiston with that 2-goal cushion for a team looking for their 10th win of the season and to move to 10-0 on the year as they go in search of the three-peat this season to make it 3 in a row after so many years without another title, so many close shaves, only to lose out to teams from the South Division. Lewiston has looked very much the part of a dynasty-type team over these last few years. Now they just have to get the job done. But they have seen some more pressure coming this season. Closer contests to teams that have tested them and taken them right to the brink. and they need to be firing on all cylinders when they hit the end of this regular season. So even a game like this with a 2-goal cushion, they're still going to pour in as many as they can muster.
I think it's hard when you've won as many in a row, 23, 4, whatever it is now. You lose your focus every once in a while. And it's a hard job for the coach to make sure they stay focused and don't get dumped by one of those teams that they have no business losing to.
One thing Jamie Bello has talked a lot about at times over the course of these last few seasons, about helping keep his team focused every time they hit the ice for practice or come to the ice for a game. Silly sends this one behind his own net as we get restarted. St. Dom's in the home whites with the black trim against Lewiston in the all blue with white demonic style numerals for their road jerseys. Blue Devils will be attacking from left to right, and they're off to our right-hand side in the offensive zone. Story sends it deep, wrapped around to the far corner, picked up by LeBlanc. Tries to jam it back for Cox. He'll spin it over to the far side boards. LeBlanc has to redirect it back behind, and Robert has time to get onto it. Still functioning like they're on a power play. Robert sends it across. Bossy from the left circle. Left pad saved by Fuchsa off the low wrister. Thrown behind the net. Robert gets to it. Tried to send out in front, turned away. Jammed at, sent behind the man coming to his help on that far side, Evan Cox, who is able to recover it. Flung one towards the high slot. Zach Pelletier turned it up to older brother and captain Matt. He sends it long, just missing wide of the net. No icing because he was close enough to center. Minute gone here in the third period. 3-1 lead for Lewiston. St. Dom's looks like they might need a break, some kind of a power play or something like that if they're going to get the offense jump-started. They're in the zone right now, but all 5 blue jerseys back, and the Blue Devils making it hard for them. Shot flung wide by William Fletcher. Back to the point, Gosselin keeps in. He sends it deep. Wrapped all the way around to the far side boards. Chad Lynch after it. Poked up ahead for Wade. He tried to play it past Wolverton, who did a good job to keep it in. But again, St. Dom's has to clear the zone before they can go back in. And here comes the Blue Devils with speed. Bossy flies past Wolverton. He's got Ridgefield for a shot. Right pad save as Fuchsa hugged the post nicely. Back to the point. Wade unwinds on one. Redirected. Save was made. Back to Lynch at the far point. Sets up high slot for Wade. Trying to feed it on deep for Field. Poke past him. And Phelan sends it up ahead for Fletcher. Corralled by Blanchett. Oh, and Fletcher delivered a big hit into him, into the dasher. And those two looking at each other. Penalty coming up against Will Fletcher for just an uncalled for hit as he got a little frustrated that Blanchett beat him to the puck and tried to finish the play, but several seconds after the puck had already gone. Interference, the call.
Yeah, those are the things, again, St. Dom's can't afford to be shorthanded like this, and really that could very easily be a game misconduct.
Fletcher's already missed games this season after misconduct penalties. Mac Pelletier, the captain, also
I remember you
involved in one of
mentioned
those.
that last
We
time.
saw one here on this home ice against Falmouth, and then another issue in their holiday tournament with out-of-state teams. For the MPA, the missed games add up over time for each successive misconduct. One the first time, 2 after the second, and so on. So another power play chance for Lewiston here with 12:56 remaining in the third period. A goal you feel would ice it, already up by 2, 3-1. Sent off the far side boards by Gosselin to start things off with a long clear on this kill. Fletcher sits in the box as Bossy swings behind his own net to pick it up for the Blue Devils. Attacking from left to right, plays up the near side boards for Robert. Gets to center, dumps one in, floating in on target. Fuchsa knocks it down, plays it himself nicely as he lofts it over the head of every Blue Devil, all the way down to his opposite number, Smith.
That's one way to clear it.
He passes off behind his own net. Cox will swing it up himself. From the right wing side, picks out Robert across center ice, down the right wing boards into the offensive end. Slams on the brakes. Back to the right point he goes for Owen Cox. Those two playing pass. Robert looking for someone to feed to in front. It's LeBlanc trying to shimmy away from Gosselin, who has him hogtied. Playing pass in the corner. Robert from the right hash. Back to Cox. Looks across. He's got Bossy. Goes to him from the left point. He'll drop back to the blue line. Across for Cox. Looks to the far post. No room to find it there. Good job in front as they play it down low. Robert. No room on that short side as a shoulder save made by Fuchsa, and it's cleared. Excellent job by the St. Dom's penalty killers. They gave no room to the front of that net.
No, and Fuchsa covered that corner up nicely.
Lewiston has bashed their heads against the brick wall of Gaston Fuchsa so often they're almost hesitant to shoot those shots from distance. No real point as they don't think it's going to have a chance to go in. They work the puck down low. That's what they're looking for, is those passing chances to find someone open around the side of the net, get the goaltender moving. 30 seconds remaining in the power play time. 11:24 to go in the game. 3-1 lead for the Blue Devils, still on the power play as they work it back up top for Bossy. Shuffles along down low. Field from the top of the far circle. Looking for him to go with it. He'll come back to the point. Cox fires one in, tipped just wide. It was actually St. Laurent, who had made that pass over to him as it's rifled down the ice with 8 seconds left in the power play. So not much on this man-up situation for the Blue Devils, Dave, but St. Dom's doing a good job killing the penalty. Now they got to see if they can turn that momentum into offensive chances. That won't help as they ice it, trying to find Fletcher fresh out of the box.
Yeah, another thing you don't want to do when you've played in your own zone so much is to ice the puck, because now you're right back in your own zone again.
They do get to finish off the change, so fresh legs out there as they'll get the lines regrouped following the penalty kill. Off the face-off, tie up, comes to the near side point. LaRoche knocking it on from Wade. He'll send it in deep to the corner. Picked up there from behind the net and trying to wrap it around in front St. Laurent. Sent deep there from Sam Payne, and around it comes to the near side for Webster, but just out of his reach. Recovered back at the point from LaRoche. Played ahead down the near side boards, and Wolverton will skate behind his own net with it. Fuchs is trying to put a little juke on Wade to get him to bite. He is all about the tricks, the Czech Republic goaltender, who's the exchange student with St. Dom's this season. Turnover forced, and Webster pokes it nicely to the far side boards for Mac Pelletier. Jammed away from him. Willett from the right point let one fly. Pelletier recovers the block shot. Pokes it past Field. Back to Willett at the point. Fires on. Blocker save. Floats out of play. Nice stop by Smith, seeing it through traffic.
So I got a question for you, former goalie. Is it frustrating when you're playing really well like Fuchs has this year and the team hasn't been able to either score enough or defend enough? Is it frustrating for you in goal?
Thankfully, I never had that problem as a goaltender, that I was usually the problem for our team. But certainly for a goaltender, you're usually focused on your own game. And as you build camaraderie with your teammates, you know it's a team effort.
Sure.
But you can certainly feel some of that pressure that if you allow a goal here or something like that, that you're not going to be able to recover.
Right, good point.
From the near side point, Silly pinching in, unable to get there, and a 2-on-1 the other way. Robert with Frechette lays it off to him. Fuchs came out to challenge and jam the shot wide. LeBlanc goes back to the point. Set up there, sent back deep from Methon, and this one broken up for a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Lewis coming ahead, look to pull the trigger, blocked off, and the Blue Devils swarm around the loose puck to take it the other way. Angled on for Frechette. Fuchsa will get to it behind the net. It was icing, though, as the puck was played just in front of center ice.
Boy, Frechette is fast.
He's got some speed. He was winning that race to the puck. But
he and Robert are lightning.
All it takes is a loose puck, and if you don't slam on the brakes, if you do the little U-turn and you're not crossing over quickly to hustle back, they will burn you down the rest of the ice. Off the draw here. Fletcher trying to carry it towards the front of the net. Knocked away. Phelan has a shot. Blocked down in front once again by Robert, who just took it out of midair. 3-on-2. He starts the other way. Frechette and LeBlanc off to his left. Robert, toe drag, cuts in front. Went to the backhand, and Fuchs has stoned him cold with the glove hand. Couldn't catch it cleanly, but what a save that was. The captain continues to be a little frustrated. He's gotten the one today, but it doesn't look like he's going to get any more. LeBlanc back into the offensive end. Wolverton runs him off the puck. Didn't realize that he had done so, so continued to body him into the corner with the puck behind him. Jammed towards the side of the net, and Fuchsa has to cover up.
Yeah, I think when your team's being dominated, that's a good idea by him to stop the play, get new guys on the ice, get everybody a chance to regroup.
Zach Pelletier in for the face-off over at that far side as Evan Cox looked to win the draw, but it's jammed out by Pelletier. Takes a look up ice. Hughes had not been able to stay on side, and a big hit laid by Pelletier. Cox just bounced off of it. Oh, Silly blew a tire, knocks it back for his goaltender to help him out, and he clears it out of play, trying to play it high off the near side glass. Nearly got it to the neutral zone as Fuchsa comes to his defenseman's rescue with two Lewiston players set to go 2-on-0. Right wing circle draw this time. Cox on the faceoff, lost out on it. Silly will play this one around to the far side. Willett trying to get there, but he's not going to win the race to the puck against Tyler Marcoux. Back to the point. Sweep at it, missed by Owen Cox. Pelletier got it across the blue line, no further. Back out through the neutral zone. Evan Cox one-on-one against Willette. Flutters a shot in. Fuchs gloves it down. Wanted to play it on for Zach, but he wasn't ready for it, so they'll just blow the whistle for a faceoff.
And I got to believe those high ones like that are kind of dangling in the air. You're just not used to looking up there as a goaltender. I got to believe those are hard to play.
At least when you have a roof like here where it's silver and white, the black puck will stand out a little bit. But, yeah, it's not like a baseball glove when you're trying to catch that fly ball coming down to you. There's a lot less range of motion in a goalie's catching glove. It's just designed to take shots from straight on, just like that one that he hangs on to. Puck nestles into the mitt, and they will do the faceoff from the left wing side with 8 minutes to go here. 3-1 lead for Lewiston as the Blue Devils looking for the icing on the cake. One more should put a nail in the coffin. St. Dom's needs to find some offense here. They've had a couple of looks in the offensive zone this period, but just haven't had that much time on attack. Played out for Webster. He's got the lone goal for them on the rebound. Puck jammed away by Bossy. Nice, silky smooth skills to get it over the blue line and feed in for Gunnar Wade in the corner. Wade swings around. Run off the puck by Gosselin. Shuffled back to the point. It fooled Blanchett off the boards, and all the way down it goes. Smith will leave it off there. Bossy some trouble with it. Sends back behind for Payne. Turned over. Hughes a drive from the point. Didn't get a lot on it. Or check that rather. Davis who had let that one fly. He bounces back. Gosselin sends to the far side looking for Pelletier, the captain. Knocked away from him. He recovers in front of the penalty box doors. Jammed at it. Zach Pelletier skating on, but Bossy will swing back to his own end with no pressure. Cross to the far side. Pass skipped under the skate of Ridgefield, and all the way down it goes. Icing is touched up, or at least whistled, as you don't have to touch it up any longer, with a tick under 7 minutes remaining. We're across the midway point of this game, or this period, but St. Dom's, these are the types of opportunities they've got to make the most of. Have to win the face-off and have to get a shot on.
I like that rule in the NHL too, that you don't have to go touch up to get the puck. It's automatically icing.
Avoids a lot of those big hits that used to be delivered that led to a lot of injuries, and certainly it has also given more of a reason not to ice the puck or to just try and get it in deep there, that it's going to be something where you immediately cancel out the risk of somebody getting flattened by a player who wasn't expecting the whistle to be blown and hits late. Sent into the offensive zone by Pelletier, but offside as Hughes was trying to hustle back out of the zone, and the timing just a little bit off. Pelletier, a little smile on his face as he laughs after delivering that hit on LaRoche. Those two chuckle to each other as they head to the bench area. Pelletier has been trying to lay the big hits to get things jump-started, but they've still been lacking that go-to score, the St. Dom's club, as it's knocked back to Wolverton. To Willette on the near side. Feeds it across. Wolverton, wrist over for Fletcher, off his backhand. LaRoche sends it back to his own zone, but that one was out of the reach of Owen Cox, and Webster recovers it to the far side. Webster and Fletcher in after it, jammed off the near side boards. Willette gets to it. Pass back up for William Fletcher. Pass across, picked up by Wolverton. Frechette takes it into his own end. Feeds back for LaRoche. 6 minutes remaining. He hits hard off the glass. Rolled through Willette, but no icing as it was there for him to take a touch. LeBlond on the forechecking pressure along with Robert. Nice move by Willette. Quickly comes up ice. It's a 3-on-3 with speed. Fletcher just didn't hold up at the blue line. Offside against St. Dom's, and really the Saints looking a little bit defeated out there right now. I think so.
Yeah, not crisp at all, and I think defeated is the little discouraged. I think you're right.
Fletcher heads to the bench. All he had to do was really jam hard on the brakes there, but instead a skidding stop that ended up with him over the blue line before Willette could enter, and he cancels out his team's chance. Sent in behind the net. Davis to it. Backhands up the near side boards. Pelletier racing up the left wing side with it. Trying to cross the blue line. He does. Goes to the backhand against Bossy. Tied up in the corner. Puck jammed away from him, and Cox will skate it on. Puts the shoulder into Hughes as the puck skips high into the air on the far boards. Cox caught by Zach Pelletier. Puck knocked on to Zach Pelletier, who gives him another hit as those two continue to bang the bodies. Getting a little bit frustrated with each other as they play on. And those two still throwing hits at each other as they attempted to change. Zach Pelletier wasn't too happy there, but he was the man who was initiating the contact. Lewiston has to leave the puck behind to avoid the offside as Pelletier jams it ahead. Bossy quickly recovering, though. Most of the attacks for St. Dom's have been turned over right at the blue line. But here's a chance with Pelletier. Bossy again able to get in with the poke check and knock it free. I was just going to say how Lewiston has had a lot of those attacks dashed against the rocks of defenseman Ryan Bossy, who has just been there to cancel out everything at the point of entry. Shot from the point right on for a cover-up with 4:33 to go.
You can see why he was our player of the game last time.
Bossy, who was a huge part of that success for his team last season, even if he wasn't one of the seniors or one of the leading scorers who was getting a lot of the accolades on that championship-winning team. But he is a very, very talented player, and in his senior season continues to be the #1 D-man on this Lewiston squad. Sent around back to the point. Story has it jammed past him by Fletcher. Ridgefield pokes it away. Wolverton ahead. Webster couldn't catch it cleanly on his backhand. No icing as it'll be picked up behind the net. Sent up the near side boards. Turned back by Story, just out of the reach of Cox. Webster gets to it. Sends down low. They joust together. Gunnar Wade, pass blocked. Trying to feed in front, and the puck covered up at the side of the net nicely by Smith to make sure there was no close-in shot against him.
Yeah, they just haven't, St. Dom's just hasn't had good chances. They've had some chances. They haven't had good chances, I guess I would say.
Probably a good accurate barometer of things here with 3:58 remaining. Blue Devils have just looked like they want to see this game out the rest of the way. They've mostly gotten the puck in deep. But here's a chance with Robert flying down the middle. He's got LeBlanc to the far side. Nice move there by Wolverton to at least jam it away from him enough. Back to the point. Blanchett keeps in. Fires one. Block. Back to the high slot area. Recovered there by Frechette. He looks in front. Tip on. Shoulder save made by Fuchsa as he stops Robert again. What an excellent stop by Fuchsa as he has kept his team from being down by 6 or 7 goals, really. In behind for LeBlanc. Taps back to Robert. Looking to go back in front with it. That one came to the side of the net. Fuchsa out of his net fishing for it. Turned in front. Fuchsa recovering, and he made the save again and covers up. Even when you don't think there's any chance in heck that he's going to be able to get back in position, he still comes up with a save and no rebound allowed.
Go ahead, folks. Here's an open goal. Oh, I'm going to save it anyway.
Fuchsa was trying to bring that puck back to his glove so he could cover it up. It was knocked away and then centered in front. And Fuchsa, presence of mind to at least get back to his pad so he could be somewhat square to the shooter. And ended up reaching up high with the glove hand to pin it there. Off the draw, taken behind the net by Willette. Stick was lifted, but I think that's going to be a slashing penalty, and indeed it is for the hit on the stick from Frechette. So with 3:10 remaining in the third period, power play chance here, and it is only a 2-goal cushion here, Dave. Despite how much Lewiston has dominated, a power play goal here, which is how St. Dom's scored their first one to take the lead. They could be right in this for a frantic finish.
Yeah, not what you want to do if you're Lewiston is give them an opportunity to get up off the deck and maybe make this an exciting, like you said, a nice, exciting finish.
Pelletier in for the draw on the far side, wins it off the boards, back to the point. Willette set up there. Shuffles across for Silly, pulls the trigger, blocked right back to him, tried it again, blocked again, and he'll have to skate to center ice with it. LeBlanc, who's being the thorn in his side, floated to the far side, saucer pass, bounced over Willette's stick, back to Silly, he'll skate up the near side. Pulls over to the right wing, and again forced back by Robert, the captain. Instructions being hollered from the bench for St. Dom's. Tries the long pass ahead, missed it. Icing whistled with 2:41 left to go in the game and 1:31 remaining in the penalty against Frechette for the slash. That is not how you draw it up from a coaching standpoint.
No, the one man in is what you normally do when you're trying to kill a short-handed, and it just crippled St. Dom's. They couldn't seem to figure out how to work it up one side or the other, and they just kept getting jammed up.
And they want a timeout to try and draw this up on the power play, exactly how things need to be done. Expect we might see them pull the goaltender for the additional attacker as well and try to go 6-on-4. That could be a real easy way for them to be able to maintain possession in the offensive end.
Yeah, I think, although I think that's something that I'm not sure teams devote enough time to. Where's that 6th guy going? Are they going to play 3 high? Are they going to overload a side? What is it they're going to do to try to take advantage of the extra man? Because what you don't want is to have Lewiston get the puck and get it towards the center ice and just fire it and get the goal that really puts this one away.
Fuchsa over to the bench having a chat with his teammates to see if they maybe will try to pull him early. When you're down by 2 at the collegiate or professional levels, 2 minutes or maybe 1:45 is when you'd probably pull the goaltender. High school level, especially with the risk of allowing that goal, they might just take the 5-on-4 fine and know they're not going to give up the goal on the other end. But we'll see if Bobby Parker takes the chance to try and pull out a goal here, go for the all-or-nothing move.
Well, the icing hurts
because they're in their own end.
If we're down the other end, you could bring him up to the blue line and then skate him over. This is really a disadvantage, having it be icing and all the way down in your own zone.
Lewiston will just need to win the faceoff, and then they can backpedal to their own end with it and then clear it once again with impunity, because you can't ice the puck when you're down a man. They win the draw, and Owen Cox looked to send it in deep. Wolverton skating it out. Lost it off his forehand. Owen Cox shoots it back in. Mac Pelletier onto it. He'll skate up right down the middle from his own blue line. Puck forced away by St. Laurent. Fuchsa comes up, and he will have to cover it up. No, Pelletier knifed it away from him at the last second.
Stolen.
Wolverton backhands this one up top in center ice, jammed back in by Cox. Gosselin, minute remaining in the power play time, leaves it for Pelletier to start the rush ahead.
They haven't been able to get on track at all.
For Fletcher, over the blue line, trying to pull the trigger from this slot area, but tied up by all the Blue Devils. And across it comes for Wolverton. Lasers one, just missing wide of the far post. Gosselin hustling to the right point. Fires, tipped off a player in front. Only 40 seconds remaining in the minor penalty. Wolverton has it at the left point. Looked to pull the trigger. It was blocked, or really he fanned on the shot. And Cox able to get it as far as neutral ice. Sent back across for Fletcher. Didn't see the puck coming, and it's stolen away by Evan Cox. He'll just go for a slow skate in and send this one behind. 20 seconds before Frechette emerges from the box. Minute and a half remaining. 3-1 lead for the Lewiston Blue Devils in this third period. Pelletier in over the blue line, down the left wing board, skates to the corner, turned away, tried to go back to the point with it. Gosselin had it jammed off his stick, and LeBlanc swings it all the way down, and that's going to do it. We're back to 5-on-5.
We have not seen La Rochelle back in. And trying to keep an eye out for him.
Sent all the way through the neutral zone. LaRoche swings it up the far side away from LeBlanc. Just hopping on Willette, has the puck come right to him as we're into the final minute. St. Thomas has not made a move to pull the goaltender yet.
5 aside.
Pelletier shoots this one in. Webster from the far wings board lost the handle on it, and it's jammed back to the near side. Pelletier has a look at the point. Shuffles one in around. Webster picks it up, wrapping in front. Zach Pelletier scores with 38.1 seconds left. What a move from Webster as he fooled the goaltender Smith, wrapped it back around, and as the goaltender recovered, he shoveled the pass out in front to the far side. Pelletier able to score just over the glove hand of the goaltender Jacob Smith. Game on.
You just don't know. You know, you just talked about it. Can they do something to get themselves back in this? And here we are. I think you pull a goalie right now, 31 seconds. You got nothing to lose.
Don't know if you can do that with the face-off at center. Fuchsa is at least coming to the hash mark, so he'll be prepared
Bring him up a little bit.
to race off if his team can control it. Lewiston trying to see this one out, up by a goal, and will we have a timeout taken here? I think there was an issue with trying to make a late change, which was not allowed.
They wanted to get Bossy
out.
They
wanted to get Bossy on.
I can't blame him there.
LeBlanc has to then come in as Roberts kicked out of the circle. Puck is loose. Pelletier knocks it free. Willette sends it across for Gosselin. Fuchsa to the bench, sent in deep, 30 seconds remaining. St. Tom's down by 1, trying to get it tied. Thrown at the front of the net, just missed wide. Gosselin over to the left point, keeps it alive. He'll look to fire it down low. Pelletier makes a nice move from the side of the net, shot on, save, and it goes out the far side. Here's Willette, throws it into the crease. Fletcher missed it, 13 seconds remaining. He recovers at the left wing boards. Back to Gosselin, fires on, tipped out of the air wide by Pelletier. Willette from the corner, back for Fletcher behind the net, trying to twist his way in front. Broken up, 2 seconds left. Net came off its moorings. Stoppage there with 1.8. They're going to reset the clock to make it 2 full seconds, I think. Or make it 3, perhaps, from what he's motioning. But this is going to be difficult off the face-off.
Can't see how many fingers.
Overload, so St. Tom's will just have to put as many bodies towards the front of the net as they can and hope they can shoot it, or perhaps win it back quickly for Fletcher, who's stationed behind Matt Pelletier.
Oh, there it is, 2 seconds. Okay, 2 seconds.
2 seconds on the clock. Pelletier, who's a right-handed shooter on this left side, it'll be on his backhand, Everybody's set to storm at the goal. Here comes the puck drop. Jammed to the near side. Fletcher flings a backhand blocked, and that's going to do it. St. Thomas pulled one back late, and they got a couple of chances to tie the game, but Lewiston holds them off.
St. Thomas had 6 right-hand shots in the game. 6. I counted them. Not one left-hander in the bunch.
Not really that many that you'll find in North American hockey, as much as you'd see across at the European levels, for sure.
Left-handers, yeah.
Not quite as bad as the ratio of left-handed writers or left-hand dominant players, but certainly something that you want to get your most talented players out there at the end.
Oh, absolutely.
They'll give the hugs all around to Gaston Fuchs, so they know he was the reason they had a chance.
Boy, he played great again.
A gem of a game from him, and a late goal from Zach Pelletier at least set up some drama for all the fans who stuck around to the end as they begin the short shuffling motion of trying to file out of the ice rink here. Meanwhile, teams going through the handshake line. That'll do another end of the regular season rivalry between these two teams. Lewiston with a sweep of the 2 games once again, and the Blue Devils remain undefeated. While St. Thomas is still on the bubble in terms of the heel points, they'll need at least a couple of more victories to sew up a playoff position and try to make sure that they don't have a tough opponent waiting for them in the first round.
Well, you know, a lot of times with the, because the first 2 teams will get a bye and 3 will play 6, 4 will play 5. But the difference is with there's not as much scoring usually in the playoffs, and with Fuchs being as good as he is, that gives them a shot. I don't think there's any question. They're going to be a tough out in the tournament.
Usually comes down to a hot goaltender when you'll see in the playoffs at any level of ice hockey. If you've got a goaltender, you have a chance to win. And Fuchs is saluting the fans as he skates off last year for St. Thomas. So a 3-2 victory for Lewiston. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we will wrap things up on the post-game show. The Blue Devils with a 3-2 win over St. Thomas. Listening to it on 105.5 Maine's Big Z and watching live video on MBR.org.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal. We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who will get the IRS off your back.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
Call Tax Solutions now. Time is running out. Call 800-399-4661. 800-399-4661. 800-399-4661.
Look, I get it. We all got snowed in last week. You're just now getting shoveled out. And when somebody mentions something to you about summer camps, your only thought is, can I go to it right now so that I don't have to deal with the snow anymore? Totally get that. However, this February vacation week, if you're home with your kids, there is one thing that you're going to remember. If you don't have something for your kids to do, you're going to be in for a long summer. Registration is now open for University of Southern Maine's summer camps. They've got basketball, they've got soccer, they've got ice hockey, and they have a ton more. I haven't even scratched the surface on this. Find the registration links now. Go to usm.maine.edu. That's usm.maine.edu and search summer camps, or find the links right now at mbr.org. And maybe get them in shape for some of these summer camps by letting them shovel off the roof or something like that. Or the deck, or the car, or maybe the big wheel. Either way. University of Southern Maine summer camps, where kids should spend the summer.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Showed us the invoice of the car, took 1,000 off, showed us all the rebates. Everything was full disclosure. No other dealer would do that for us. I have had at least 5 that said that, almost verbatim.
Why don't you say that? There's nothing to hide in the commercials. I mean, it's all out there.
What's the website, Amber?
YankeeFord.com.
Marty?
YankeeFord.com.
Jay?
YankeeFord.com.
Burke?
YankeeFord.com.
I'm a little confused here. I'm not sure what the website is. I'm not getting it.
YankeeFord.com.
Yeah,
sure.
that might be it.
Plus oil changes for as long as you own your car, Maine State inspections for as long as you own the car.
I think if you go to the website, the point is that we're going to have the lowest price in the market.
Yeah.
And we're going to pay you more for your used car. And when you come in here, we're going to pull the invoice and show you the cost. We're going to show you the rebates. We're going to be completely full disclosure.
Yeah.
Go ask the competitors to do that. They won't do it. Does that tell you anything?
Yeah, there's no fine print at Yankee Ford. What was that website again?
YankeeFord.com.
Right.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations. Or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org.
Back inside the Norway Savings Bank Arena alongside Dave Wing, I'm Caleb Lamb on our post-game wrap-up of tonight's victory for the Lewiston Blue Devils. On the scoreboard, a lot closer than the game actually was on the ice as Lewiston hangs on for a 3-2 win over the St. Dom's Saints, but Lewiston dominating the game pretty much for, you could say, 38 out of the 45 minutes. But Gaston Fuchsa with another extremely good performance to keep his team in the contest, and a late goal in the final minute set up a frantic final 38 seconds where St. Dom's pulled the goaltender and did have a couple of cracks at throwing the puck on target and perhaps tying the game up. But the Blue Devils managed to stay perfect, and they may be getting a talking to from head coach Jamie Bello just about how it is important to make sure you're icing the game. You can't just have a 2-goal lead and try to hang on the rest of the way in that third period like it ended up being for them.
Yeah, and you know the Saints, we've seen this a couple times now, especially against Lewiston. You can't have long stretches, as we saw tonight, where they just don't generate any good passing, any skating. There's no speed through that neutral zone. They're trapped in their own zone for long periods of time. You're going to make a mistake. You're either going to hook, grab, do something, or it's going to be something tipped and it's a goal. And that's exactly what we saw tonight. You just can't do that.
Goals that finally did come had to be changing the angle on Gaston Fuchsa, but he made some great early saves, and his team responded with the early goal for a first period lead with 4:59 remaining, a power play chance, and Webster able to slam home the goal on the rebound off the left pad of Jacob Smith. Jaden Webster putting his team in front, but they couldn't hang on to the lead through the end of the period. Minute 10 remaining, and Willie Blanchett's shot from the point appeared to tip off a stick and went from low to high over the shoulder of Fuchsa through a screen of about 5 players that were camped in front of that crease area. So 1-1 at the break. Early in the second, Alex Robert able to score on the 2-on-1. Minute after he was denied on a breakaway chance, Jack LeBlanc came speeding in down the right wing side, and a beautifully weighted saucer pass on for the captain, who deposited it into the top corner over the blocker hand of Gaston Fuchsa. We had a stoppage with a issue with the penalty box door, which brought an end to the second period early. So instead, we finished out the second period, the final 2:08, after the ice was made, and Lewiston wasted no time in giving themselves another goal. Sam Frechette on the power play, able to capitalize on another rebound as he slammed it home. Puck caromed awkwardly off the right toe of Gaston Fuchsa and bounced across the body to the left. And there was Frechette to slam it into the empty net. One of the only times that Fuchsa was not in position to be able to make a save. Nothing he could do off that particular rebound. Lewiston looked fine in the third period, just pretty much keeping the St. Dom's attack at bay, dealing with a couple of power play chances. They got their shots still when they had the opportunity, but Fuchs, again, with a fantastic period to keep everything out. And with a late power play that St. Dom's couldn't capitalize on, they did score immediately after, though, with a Zach Pelletier rebound set up by Jaden Webster. Nice wraparound from behind the net, fed it in front, and at the bottom of the right wing circle, he shoveled it into the goal for a 3-2 margin. Frantic finish with a couple of shots taken from the left point from Gosselin, and with Fletcher and Willette throwing pucks from the side of the net into the crease. Nobody could redirect it home past Smith, who hangs on to get his team the victory. 3-2 the final score, and the Blue Devils still perfect and still marching on, but it does look like if you can get a good goaltender, and you certainly need one who is as good as Gaston Fuchs to stand up to that barrage, you have a chance of staying with this Blue Devils team because the opportunity is there to score if you create opportunities against their defense.
That third period shows you how important and how valuable Bossy is to this Blue Devil team. He really anchors that defense. He's solid. He's very smart with the puck. He's never out of position, and he made quite a difference in that third period, kind of controlling the play and not letting Lewiston, kind of lose their way. We did not see Dustin LaRochelle, one of their captains, after he was hurt on that power play, and didn't come back into the tilt. So be anxious to see what we hear about that maybe tomorrow.
Suffered what appeared to be a right shoulder injury when he lost an edge and went crashing into the boards down in the left wing corner at that end of that final stretch of the second period before the start of the third. So he did go back to the bench instead of to the locker room, but as you said, didn't get another shift the rest of the way. So that does it for coverage here. St. Dom's needing a few more wins as they try to sew up a playoff spot, but get out of that sixth seed. And for Lewiston, they'll set their sights on perhaps finishing off the regular season and staying perfect, but really for them it's about fine-tuning their game as they prepare for that three-peat run at the title when we hit the playoffs, which are not that many weeks away right now, Coach Wing.
No, it keeps creeping up on us. Maddie and I keep saying, boy, you look over the top of the fence and you can see the playoffs coming in all our sports.
So we will hope you'll join us for more action down the rest of the stretch. Until that time, from my broadcast partner Dave Wing, I'm Caleb Lamb. Your final score for the final time, it's Lewiston 3, the St. Dom's Saints 2. You've been listening and watching coverage of Maine High School Ice Hockey here on 105.5 Maine's Big Z and MBR.org. Good night, everyone.